Sagas, um romance trash entre dois soldados de facções opostas e um gato com particularidades. A grande aposta da G. Floyd Studio no mercado nacional de banda desenhada é Saga, a multipremiada graphic novel de Brian K. Vaughan e Fiona Staples. No centro da história encontram-se Alana e Marco, pais recentes de um bebê, motivo para fugirem da propaganda antifusão de espécies.
It started as a story about wanting to write about parenthood, and I'd just become a new dad, and I wanted to write about it, but I quickly discovered that no one wants to hear stories about your boring kids, how could I trick readers into believing that parenthood is actually an adventure? And so, yeah, it felt like setting it in a world of sort of Star Wars style epic sci-fi fantasy space opera would be a way that I could trick people, like I say, into reading a very personal, intimate story.
Escape fantástico de receios, alegrias e aspirações do autor americano, Saga explora temas como raças e classes, com personagens femininas de grande relevo, onde o universo alienado e irreverente é-nos estranhamente familiar.
Starting with whatever frightens or confuses me. Like, I had just gone through a bad breakup before Y: The Last Man, and I was like, I don't understand women, and being sort of a young idiot like York Brown in that book, I think that's where that came from. Ex Machina was, I was living in New York City and watched the towers fall from the roof of my apartment in Brooklyn, and I wanted to write about how the political landscape had changed. So it's always, like I say, whatever I'm feeling at that moment, it's like a cheap form of therapy for me. So, as I say, how can I manipulate readers into paying for my therapy so I can figure out all the screwed up stuff in my head by giving them a story with monkeys and ray guns in it?
Horrível e espirituoso, de linhas paródicas e diálogos inteligentes, este universo surge também da experiência de Brian K. Vaughan na escrita de super-heróis.
I mean, it was an honor to get to work on Spider-Man and Batman and characters I grew up loving, but, you know, one of my biggest heroes is Stan Lee, and I always admired that when Stan Lee was a young creator, he didn't say, oh, I've got this Superman story that I'm aching to tell, or I've got this way to reinvent Green Lantern. He said, I'm a creator, and I have these new ideas, and that's what excites me most, is new things, and trying to work with new collaborators, and for us to take pieces of ourselves and to make something that really feels new.
Com uma linguagem familiar e arcos narrativos envolventes, Saga é mais um dos projetos de Vaughan que, a par de Y: The Last Man, é aliciado para a adaptação ao grande ecrã.
We've been talking about that for almost 15 years now, so I'll believe it when I see it, but there's definitely a lot of interest this year in particular. So, but actually I left Under the Dome a few months ago. It was a great experience, but I've really found, after having worked on Lost and Under the Dome and some films, that comics are really where I'm happiest. So I'm just taking a year to just create new things and to concentrate entirely on comics.
Com um universo belo, de humor incomodativo, Saga é explanada em 4 volumes que podes encontrar nas bancas pelas mãos da G. Floyd Studio.